If evolution is so true, why do atheists gotta lie to defend it? It's time for Preacher to the Choir Ministries.
The fool has said, in his heart there is no God. They are corrupt.
So anyway, this is my argument. I don't know what the heck you guys are talking about. This is my argument. I disagree with macroevolution. That's the idea that a kind of an animal is going to become a different kind of animal over a long period of time. Please tell me that's not evolution, because when you do that, I'm going to school you in a minute.
All right, G, let me ask you a question. Can you find me where in any biological definition it talks about one kind of an animal becoming another kind as far as macroevolution?
Oh, yes, it does. Yes, yeah, sure, it does.
Sure, find the definition.
It happens through mutations, through environment, through common descent, according to you guys, and a whole bunch of other things.
So
now, just because I'm not boring people to tears and starting from the very beginning and then working my way up to now, I mean, I'm assuming you guys know what the heck the topic is.
Well,
some people distinguish between microevolution and macroevolution. The first person to do that I'm aware of was Theodosius Dobzhansky, a prominent neo-Darwinist back in the 1930s. He wrote that microevolution is that which we see happening in existing species. Macroevolution are the large-scale events that we see in the history of life, you know, the origin of the phyla, the origin of new species. And he admitted at the time, I believe it was 1937, that we have no direct evidence for macroevolution, so we have to extrapolate what we see going on within existing species as though it were the explanation for macroevolution. And as far as I know, it has never really gotten beyond that. You ask Darwinists nowadays, what's the evidence for your theory? And almost invariably, they will refer to changes in existing species, microevolution. Well, how do we know that that leads to macroevolution? The truth is we don't. Nobody has ever observed microevolution causing macroevolution. Despite 150 years of research, no one has taken an existing species, applied Darwinian mechanisms of selection and variation, and turned that species into two species. They haven't even gotten to the first step in macroevolution in terms of observing the process. So this extrapolation remains controversial.
Our genes are a kind of archive of the remote past, and they go through us to the remote future. Henry Dawkins may be my 4 greats-grandfather, and he's put some genes in here. But my 200 million greats-grandfather was a fish. And by the way, the same fish was your 200 million greats-grandfather too.
You just said, according to evolutionary theory, that a population of dogs can produce a population of non-dogs in violation with the law of monophyly. Where is this written? Show me the book that you are reading from that says that a population of dogs can diverge into a population of non-dogs.
And yeah, maybe evolution happened, but it only happens on the micro level and not the macro. Which is to say that you might get beagles and huskies from a common dog ancestor, but you will never get anything that's not a dog. Ever. To which I have to ask, what prevents it? Where does this barrier come from? Why can't we ever get a non-dog from a dog ancestor? Okay, maybe they're thinking in crocoduck terms, or maybe they're picturing a dog giving birth to, say, an elephant or something. I don't know. It could just be that their mental picture of evolution doesn't match what evolution actually is. But suppose they do get it. Suppose they do realize that evolution is gradual, successive changes over many generations. Most of them talk about microevolution, so they at least get part of it. So what if a pack of dogs were separated by an earthquake or something, and each half of the pack moved to different environments? The ones up north find that they survive better if their coats are lighter colored, and if they're sleek and able to swim well to catch fish. The ones in the south find that they're better suited to their environment if they're darker colored and have claws for digging for food. Over tens of thousands, perhaps even millions of years, the ones living in the north start to look remarkably like sea lions, while the ones in the south probably resemble badgers or something.